Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And
Thank you.
today I feel very happy to. Today I feel very excited to meet you on this platform. And today I'm going to interact with a great personality. Is a great blog writer and outstanding speaker and a great personality stalwarts in English language, English community. I know that, and we have been talking for the last 2 3 years, and he started many WhatsApp groups so that. And I am one of the products from his WhatsApp group. That's okay, sir. So I feel very happy to meet you today. Yes, sir. Please. I know very well about you. Please introduce a couple of sentences. Please give a small brief about you. Then we will go on our interview, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I started my career as a primary teacher and I worked for 16 years. Then I became a school assistant in English and I was trained at the Central Institute of English Foreign Languages, Hyderabad, and also I was trained in a Regional Institute of English, Mysore, where I became the topper in that batch. Later, I became the state resource person for Rajiv Vidya Mission and also state resource person for State Council of Educational Research and Training, and also state resource person for Andhra Pradesh Open School Society, and also the state resource person for Tribal Welfare Department, Andhra Pradesh. Of course, all this happened when Andhra Pradesh was not bifurcated. I have also became the blog writer for the British Council, and I'm the only Indian to be honored by the British Council for writing more blogs. In fact, I was one of the most 5 prolific bloggers in the world. And also, I'm the textbook writer for 3rd, 7th, and 9th class of United Andhra Pradesh. Recently, slangforus.com, Dr. David D. Jones of America gave me free live subscription for that teaching website because he liked my English so much and he thought that I was the right person to give free subscription. Okay, besides, I taught English formally, informally, and also I'm the state resource member. I do remember that you and I worked as resource person for in certain occasions. Okay, thank you for very much for introducing me. Of course, I'm the creator of Well Wishers Group, a group, and also a group of intellectuals and English maniacs. Actually, you and I are really English maniacs. Of course, you are doing a bit better than me these days. Okay, besides you are a great poet and a great motivational speaker and a versatile genius. Actually, I call you genius because you are writing poems instantly. That's it. Really, actually surprises most of us. Even Dr. Vayanand, he was a doctor, was I wondered at your skill. Thank you very much for introducing me or interviewing me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, the first questions are actually literature and grammar and oratory skills. I think they are the three different sectors are the same one, sir. Because some people they can write very well. They have the literary talents, but they can't speak on stage. And some speakers they know English grammar very well, but grammarians, but they can't speak that much. Okay, so what is the difference between literature and oratory skills and grammar? So let me know, sir. Yes. Is there any difference?
Actually, personally, I feel that a good knowledge of language may lead you to the good knowledge of literature, but a sound knowledge of literature may not lead you to a sound knowledge of language. That means these days we are giving much preference to language and communication skills rather than literature. Once one of the professors, Venekant Prakash from Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, commented that as far as the future of English literature is concerned, it's bleak. But as far as the future of English language is considered, it is very bright. That means, of course, it doesn't mean that the days of literature are ended, but these days we are giving more and more importance to language than to literature. That's why we have to train our students to have a sound knowledge of language and communication skills rather than literature. Literature, the knowledge of literature may be a library skill rather than not an active skill. So if you are interested in literature, you may read the works of Shakespeare and Mark Twain, and so on and so forth. But a good communicational skills or the skills of language are necessary for each and every one. Without a sound knowledge of English, language skills, one cannot survive in this world.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The most frequently asked questions, sir. Generally, most of the people they want to develop their communication skills. They want to enhance their spoken English skills. So I think you have a lot of experience. You have a long journey in your career, in regarding English language. So uh, just please give some suggestions how to improve one's communication skills, how to develop their spoken abilities. How can one can become a fluent speaker, sir? Please respond and react, sir.
Actually, many people ask what are the tricks for speaking English fluently. Actually, there are no tricks. But actually, we learn something when there is a need or interest. Suppose if you have a need to speak English, you start speaking English. When there is an interest in speaking English, you start speaking English. Without the need and the interest, we cannot make anybody speak English, because you are doing all these things because you are interested in English, or you are interested
Yes.
in speaking English, you are interested in people making you speak English. So without interest, nothing can be done. But of course, uh, as an experienced teacher of English, I can tell that even if you have a lots of vocabulary, lots of grammar, you can't speak English unless you know the basics, unless how to communicate. Of course, if you work for 3 months or so, you know the basics, and if you start speaking slowly, you can become a fluent speaker in the end. Actually, there are only three goals for speaking English, that is fluency, uh, accuracy, and appropriacy. I will say you should start speaking fluently, whether it is right or wrong. Don't worry about vocabulary. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about anything. Start speaking, even though you are making a number of mistakes. Then a stage comes when you start speaking accurately. Accurately means you can speak fluently and also you speak correctly without grammatical mistakes. Then a stage comes, you speak fluently, correctly, and appropriately. Appropriate is the much larger term and it is an advanced one. Of course, it happens by stages, but anyhow, you have to start speaking without thinking about the mistakes. That is the right step. Of course, we can start teaching something, the basics like tenses, this and that, but it should not become grammar teaching. Grammar teaching is different from communication. Even if you are good at grammar, you may not speak. So, in order to make your student speak, you should force, or you should force him to speak in some way or the other. Actually, ask him to speak. He may make mistakes, but you can. For example, I will come yesterday. That you can understand that he came yesterday.
Yes.
There may be a mistake here. This is the way our children make mistakes in our early stages. That's why it is called mothercy. For example, think of our mother language acquisition, that is called mothercy. How does a child acquire the language? In the beginning, he starts making a number of mistakes. Nobody corrects him mistakes, but actually he corrects himself because there is a grammar monitoring in his brain. That is also true of our second language, English. So once he starts speaking, he will try to correct himself, but you need not correct him forcibly. Of course, you may hint this and that, but don't say that he has utterly made a mistake.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for your good and great advice regarding new learners. No, sir, I think recently some books are there. No, one can learn English without 3 months or 1 month like that. No, so by reading books like this, simple books, English in 30 days. So is it really helpful to those the new learners, sir? By reading books, one can
Actually,
learn. Yeah.
this is all trash. Actually, there are I read somewhere that you can speak English in a day.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah, yeah.
I have been trying to speak English for the last 50 years, but still
Sure.
I cannot say that I am very fluent or very correct or very elegant in English. Actually, we are all learners of English.
Yeah,
Even now, we haven't come to the level of native speakers. So, how can
yeah.
you start speaking English by reading a book? This is trash. This is commercialization, and this is we should dispense with this type of thinking. So, you must work hard to speak English, no doubt about it, because it's not our mother tongue. Even your mother tongue, we struggle. We say that we learning mother tongue non-conscious. In fact, actually, you should also struggle to learn mother tongue, but you don't know it. But when you start learning a second language like English, you think that you are struggling, but also you struggle to learn your mother tongue. That is also the linguists say these days. So without struggle, there is no question of achieving anything. It is also true of English, or it is true of any English language. But the one thing is that English is only a language. When you start, some people say that in learning Hindi is easy, but learning English is difficult. No, all languages are equally difficult. All languages are equally easy. It depends upon your interest, your necessity, your need. So don't think that English is a difficult language. It is also one of the languages, and it is as easy or as difficult as any other language.
Sir, final one more question, sir. So, what is the best method, a simple method one can develop fluent English? Because everybody wants shortcut methods and tricks and trips. So, what are your suggestions? One suggestion, sir. What is the best method to learn English language fluently, effectively, efficiently, effortlessly, and in an easy way? So, let me just know one method, sir, because
Okay,
everybody wants
actually,
simple. Yeah.
okay, I'm going to tell you the method I have been following, or the method I started following when I was only an intermediate student. In those days, nobody used to speak English.
Yeah.
Only the dictionary was our source, or the textbooks our source. The limited English, the teachers or the lecturers spoke in the class was the own English. These days, there are many Skype, there are many YouTubes, there are many channels. These days, learning English is very, very easy. In those days, there was nothing. But actually, the method I followed was I used to demand that I was making a speech in front of the audience, during Independence Day, Republic Day, and some other day. I used to close the doors and I started speaking to myself as though somebody is in front of me. Some my parents and used to that I was mad. Even my neighbors used to think that I was mad because I was speaking to myself. But it helped me to communicate well. It helped me to channelize my thoughts, and it is used to help my communication skills. It is used to help my pronunciation and this and that. That's the only thing, because even these days we can't find the partner all the time. When there is no partner, what should you do? Please start speaking to in front of a mirror, or close the door if you think that others will laugh at you, and start doing this at least for 15 minutes or so every day. Whenever there is a time, start speaking with the limited vocabulary, with the thing that there is somebody in front of you, or think that some audience is in front of you. That's the best method when you don't find partners. If you find partners, you can create a group with the like-minded people, and whenever you find them, you start speaking to them. That is the second method. Of course, even some teachers cannot speak well. That's a funny thing, but
That is the
they at
irony.
least they should start speaking at the teaching room, or what we call the staff room. That's the third option. But as an young learner, that's the best method is speaking to yourself or speaking in front of a mirror. It is the best proven method all over the world.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming to my live session. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.